No, I mean, okay. Well, I mean,
I
basically,
thought it was good. And look at me. Let me see those pretty eyes.
oh, nice. Yeah, the Toronto Timepiece Show was a really great show because of the fact that the focus was on networking, which was something
Yeah.
that a lot of other shows sort of overlooked at. I think people come into these shows and they're just trying to sell their wares and they're just trying to talk about their brands. But what I noticed at this show was it was, watch collectors and watch enthusiasts and brands all coming together and just talking about their stuff and what people like and they're interested in, and basically about, the watch space in general. So that was a very like refreshing
Yeah.
perspective on this
And
because
also a lot of media and podcasters were there.
yeah, it was really cool. I mean, and outside of that too, a lot of a lot of networking between the brands. That was another thing that was
Correct.
important. Like you go to some of these shows and it's kind of like I'm in my little spot and you're in your little spot, and like we look at each other maybe as some levels of competition. But what I noticed was a lot of people sort of like reaching across the aisle and saying, "Hey, what are you guys doing? What are you doing?" And not only that, but let's have a drink at the bar, or let's go and have a dinner together, or let's get to know each other. And that's extending further, like as we're going to some of these other shows like in New York or in Austin or these other ones.
Well, I mean, you told me when the last Microlux Minutes an Hour show you did, there was a lot of that also. There was that, you guys went out to the barbecue place, and so that was
And that's
cool.
cool. The watch community really like appreciates that and likes to do that, because in the end of the day we're all sort of like watch geeks and we're looking at it from different perspectives. Like, I may look at it very technical, you may look at it very design focused,
Yeah.
but everybody sort of is looking at it being like, oh, what's that new thing, or what are you guys up to, or well, what's coming up next. And that's where I think it becomes this just like, on the common thread. Everybody's on a common thread, and that is what really, made this show really special. That a lot of people with a common sort of belief and thought came together in a space, first time ever happening in Toronto, and just were able to just have a great conversation with each other.
Yeah. And then just meeting and talking to all the different brands was exciting. Exciting. It was very inspirational. I don't know if you noticed, but I had my sketchbook. I was sketching a bunch of ideas, jotting down notes. It was a fun show in a fun city. Those restaurants we went to were great.
Kudos to everybody who was involved in that. And then I guess their next one, which is going to be the one in Vancouver, they really know what they're doing there, and they're doing a good job of it. So hopefully they keep pushing it. And there's going to be other great shows that also celebrate that. We're going to be at Minutes and Hours. We're going to be at hopefully District Time in DC.
Yeah.
We'll be doing a lot of different things.
Yeah, it'll be good.
And now check out some of the interviews we did with many brands that were there that weekend. The first one we did was with our show neighbor, 5280 Watches. Check them out.
Okay, so we're here with my man, Rich Keel, 52080 Watch Company. We're here, Toronto Timepiece Show. Tell us about the watch. Tell us about what you're doing here. This is an insane process you were telling me about. Just tell us a little bit
Thanks,
about
I appreciate that. So we decided to try to put a Fabergé egg in a watch as a dial. We wanted to bring old world craftsmanship, old world artisanship back into it. There's a lot of people doing the same kind of things, and we wanted to find a niche that was a little bit different. And I went looking for rose turn engine guilloche and vitreous enamel, and realized that the price point was absolutely absurd.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to bring that kind of craftsmanship back to watchmaking, but to everybody. Not everybody can go out and buy a $30,000 watch.
So, James, good to see you here, Toronto Timepiece Show. Tell us about the brand. Tell us about what you're doing today.
Cool. So Farr is about 10 years old. We're a British brand, and our whole shtick is basically using color and texture to sort of subvert the conventions of watch design. So we offer a variety of styles. As you can see, there's lots of different models. Everything from time-only pieces, cushion cases with addressing world timers, GMTs. We've even got moon phases with hand-painted luminous moons, and mono pusher chronographs with a GMT function in one. So very, very wide variety, big range of color, and the idea is basically just offering as much of a range as possible, so we've got something for everyone, no matter what your own taste.
What are we doing here in Toronto?
It's pretty good, huh?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
What a cool city, what a cool show.
Awesome turnout, lots of people, lots of enthusiasts.
I think that everyone in this town is just all about learning about watches.
Right.
And I think that next year and the year after, it's just going to grow and grow and grow. It's going to go like wildfire, because I just don't think that they've had exposure to like a lot of independent brands up here, especially those from maybe the US.
Right.
Like in the way that, like in New York, like when we go to some of these other shows, like, I've seen them before.
Yeah.
Here it's kind of like seeing the unicorn that they just didn't even know existed.
That's
what
the thing.
I've been sort of seeing. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's been like a massive, amazing turnout. Lots of people, but people that have said, we've seen all of this online, but we've never gotten to handle it in person
Touch
before.
it.
Yeah.
It. I know. And so, I mean, what kind of conversations have you been having? People been coming up. I mean, they love the brand, I'm sure. What are they telling you?
So that's the good part about the show, especially here. There's a familiarity. Everybody knew about the brands, they knew about the models, but there was those miniature aha moments of, it fits so well, or, I'm glad I held out on this. I like a different model.
Yeah.
And so that look, touch, feel that you get at a show is super important. Yeah, they're familiar, but solidifying those thoughts with actually
something
seeing
in
it.
hand,
That's
tangible.
It. So simple.
And what's been going on at Brew? Like, I mean, I'm a big fan. I've had, some of your original watches for years and years. I always love seeing the new things. I mean, what's going on these days? With
Constantly designing around the clock, working on the structure of the company, making sure everything is stable and growing, and, working on the longevity of the brand. And that takes so much behind scenes. But, on that forefront, new designs, new colors, staying bold, not just for the sake of being bold, but like staying bold with staying true to the roots of the brand.
Ethos, right?
Yeah, the ethos is everything.
What's the identity? What's kind of supporting
Well, you can also
that?
speak to that, right?
I mean, we try to.
Yeah. Like you have your ethos. It's like
Yes.
it's so ingrained in your brand.
We do. I mean, for us, we basically are trying to have people develop a connection to our products that's all their own, right? You have your own originality. How do you connect to the brand in your own original way? And I think that's the way it is with you too.
Understanding and appreciating watches as the objects that they are was exciting. Now, doing that for a few years for other brands, I saw that I had my own vision that I wanted to share, and then slowly evolving to the point where I knew I had a moment in time to pull the trigger on an idea, and I found a personal way through Brew to make that happen. And slowly and surely, very, very in a humble way, sharing and creating these designs over the years, and now almost 10 years later, it's evolved, and you refine it. And so a decade of refining, it's a world's difference of product,
Marcella. Correct. Marcella, nice to meet you. Kareem.
Kareem, very
Yes. And I would love to know a little bit about your brand and why you're here in Toronto. Can you tell us about Stella?
I'd love to tell you. So we're very happy to be here in Toronto because it's our first time doing a show outside of the United States.
Okay.
We are based out of New York.
We are also based out of New York.
Excellent.
So we're neighbors.
I love it. We'll have to grab a coffee one
We will
day.
do that. We'll do that.
So really, this is my baby, mine and my partner's other business partner who couldn't be here this weekend. But Stella is really a culmination, I would say, of my long career in the watch industry.
Okay.
So I've been in the watch industry over 30 years, designing watches for other brands.
Okay.
Mostly very commercial brands.
Yes.
Myself and my business partner met when we worked together for a short time, but we used to come to these shows on the other side of the table when the micro brand industry was really still kind of small.
Just getting started.
Just
when
getting
it was
started.
micro.
When it was micro, exactly.
Now it's just independent. Somebody told me, they said it's not really micro brands anymore. It's just independent,
It's independent brands, right?
Correct.
There's no micro.
There's no micro
now.
anymore.
I know. No, I mean it's wonderful to see what's happened, but it really has exploded.
Yes.
So early in the early days back then, we used to come to these shows and really sort of love what was going on. And as a designer, I really appreciated all of the creativity going into it, and I was just intrigued with the idea that you could create your own brand just for the pure passion of watches, right? So just for the pure love of doing it.
Okay.
It's a Swiss movement.
Yes.
I said we made a collaboration because all the pieces are made in La Jouperet and the movement doesn't make difference.
Okay.
So I said work with La Jouperet and want to produce new movements.
Yes.
This is the new one. Is not launched in France. We're gonna launch it next week, and it's a GMT movement.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
So we
Multiple
put
time
the hour of Toronto, and here you have the hours of France.
Good attention to detail.
Yeah. So this is a
Les détails.
GMT. Yeah. And the signature of the brand is green.
Oh, that's
and
beautiful.
You can see the case back, the green case back with the movement.
Yes, that is absolutely wonderful. Beautiful watch.
Good to see you, Jose.
Thank you so much.
Enjoying being here with you at the Toronto Timepiece Show.
Thank
Isotope,
you.
love it. I've seen the watch a few places. Tell me about it. Tell me what's going on with the watches.
Well,
The brand.
yeah, so we were born 8 years ago because of an accident, because I wanted to buy a new jumping hour, and my wife told me, why don't you make yours? Because mine was really, the one I wanted was really expensive. So I went between UK and Geneva for 2 years, traveling, learning, understanding. So he made the jumping hour. From there, a gentleman asked to buy 10. We made a few more. We made 100. They sold out very fast.
Beautiful.
And from there, people started asking for a diver, then started asking for a field watch. And then I started doing what I really wanted. And during COVID, we had time to sit down and to really invest in the company and to create designs that are now are in production.
Last name?
Wine.
Wine. Okay. So it's a big family debate because Marathon Mitchell pronounces his name Ween.
Okay.
The poor guy doesn't even know how to pronounce his own name.
See, that's the kind of things that you can say with each other because you're family.
Yes,
When you're
exactly.
first cousins, you can mess with each other that way. And you guys are a close family, always been close?
Yeah.
That's good.
So my grandfather started Clinton Watch Company in Chicago back in 1922.
Oh, wow.
He was one of 4 brothers that all started watch companies in North America. 2 of them are still around today.
Amazing.
We're around and Marathon is around. And he bought Hampden Watch Company in 1958.
Okay.
And then Benrus Watch Company in 1981.
I know that.
And we've since sold Benrus, but we're still in the watch business. And when we turned 100, we decided we wanted to relaunch the Hampden Watch brand. And the entire line is designed to allow for beautiful caseback engravings. So when we decided, we're 100 years old, we wanted to relaunch this brand, I wanted to make watches that made other people feel the way that watch had made me feel.
Beautiful.
But the thing is that, so again, all of these watches can have beautiful engravings, and this is just an example. This specific engraving I gave to the 5 people on my relaunch team. They were in Cape Town, New York, Chicago, Nashville, and Chicago. But I wanted to be able to see the movement also, so we invented and patented this.
Oh, get out of here. Unbelievable. That is absolutely beautiful. Wonderful.
And so there actually is an open case back, so you can wear the watch in exhibition mode, or you can wear the watch with the personal engraving.
I love it.
Toronto Timepiece Show. Tell us about what you're doing here. Tell us about the brand a little bit.
Well, firstly, I'm glad to be here and want to say thanks to Jason and his team for organizing the show. It's been fantastic, coming off without a hitch, so thanks for that. I'm here as founder of Locai. Locai is based in California. We're a purpose-driven brand, so Locai is the Latin word for place. Every one of our watches is inspired by a special place, and we always give 10% of the sales to a nonprofit that does something to protect that place. We're the only watch company in the world making that level of commitment to nonprofit impact. Yeah, this whole watch line is called the Pacific Coast Highway.
Okay.
So there's a
PCH
dial inspired by the road and the beach and the ocean.
Oh, look at that. All right.
I call the road dial the Big Sur. The beach is the Surfrider Beach dial, and the ocean dial is the Monterey Bay.
Okay.
The Big Sur, the black dial, the color of that dial is sampled from a picture I took of the road of one of my favorite sections of the PCH. I'm a motorcycle rider to ride on. And the beach dial is actually a photo I took of the beach where the waves wash in and out and leave streaks in the sand.
Okay.
And we spun that image in a circle, and that's printed right onto the dial.
Beautiful. Adam.
Yes.
Good to see you, my friend.
Nice seeing you.
Here at Toronto Timepiece. We're all enjoying this beautiful show.
Oh, it's an excellent show. It's incredible.
Tell us about the brand. Tell us what's going on here. I see absolutely beautiful pieces here.
Thank you. So we started a while back in 2018, kind of conservatively with our seaplane model, you know, the general idea of a micro brand. Made the watch with all the specs, Swiss movements, sapphire crystal, the lume, all that kind of stuff. Then we got a little more funky, decided to do a sweeping quartz and throw in
oh, look at that.
Full lume dial with 4 different lume paints. I've had a little more fun with lume along the way with these. Even got a map of Wrigleyville if you're a Cubs fan, which I know you guys are not.
No, we're not. But we can appreciate the technical detail.
And then kind of moved to a solar-powered sweeping chronograph quartz movement.
Oh, wow.
Which we made a auto-themed one for an auto club, hence the tire tread. And then the watch that never should have happened was our Vice edition.
Miami Vice edition?
Yeah, I can't say Miami, but I can say Vice edition. Yes.
All right.
The synth wave. Made this one just as a demo and posted on Instagram, and it hit, and I did it.
Colors.
Yeah. Oh, and then we got a pink one, which I ran out of.
Well, we got pink ones over there too. You can take a look. But,
awesome.
I mean, this is beautiful. And these colors are so popular now.
They are.
I mean, across so many different age groups. Like my son's 15 years old. All he wears is this kind of blue and these kinds of pinks. They all love that. That's the colors they love. And then everyone else is kind of gravitating towards it too. So, I mean, are these the newest ones for this year? There's a new collection coming up? Or are we basically in 2024 here or 2025?
We've got one more since our bubblegums are out. They're coming back in stock. And then we got one more of these coming with a bright blue to it. And then this has been our most recent launch, which is a 3-button 80s digital with a cassette tape theme.
Oh, that's so great.
My kids actually talked me into this one because
so cool.
I got them something similar and they said, "Why don't you have this watch, Dad?" And I said, "You know what? I'm gonna make it."
I love
and it's been like our biggest hit in terms of volume and like awareness.
Everybody
it's
wants
huge.
it.
Yes, and like so I'm like, well, now we're gonna have to work on the digitals as a real project.
Okay, we're here at the Toronto Timepiece Show, and we are with VJ Geronimo with Oris, and we're very excited to talk to you. I mean, can you tell us a little bit and our viewers and followers about some of the exciting things that are happening?
Sure. First of all, it's great to be in Toronto. You know, I think it's long overdue that Toronto's had a watch show.
Absolutely.
So it's great that we're here with it. Yeah, we brought a lot of stuff with Oris. If you don't know much about Oris, we're a 120-year-old Swiss mechanical watch brand, one of the few last mainstream independent brands in Switzerland.
Yes.
We only make mechanical watches. So, and we have a lot of different unique things, just some unique pieces in front of us here, just as we're talking. This is a very cool piece that we did. This is called the altimeter. So this is a working mechanical altimeter. So it basically, you can set your altitude, and as you rise and descend, it'll measure altitude in itself. But the other really neat thing about this watch is it's 3D printed carbon fiber.
Wow.
So it's super light. It's a large watch at 47 millimeters, but it's super light. So if you like a bigger watch or something, but it's really
and
a cool.
what a beautiful texture to it that you get there.
Yeah.
3D printed, correct?
Yeah. 3D printed. And most carbon fiber, if you know much about the process, a lot of people will layer carbon fiber over a base metal as a container at the.
Yes.
So this is purely formed, 3D printed, and able to basically put the carbon where it matters the most. So in the place where it needs it the strongest, we make it strongest because it's programmed that way. So it's a unique.
What a unique technology to implement right there.
This piece is called the brace net. So it's very unique in the sense that ghost fishing nets are a big problem in the ocean. So They say 46% of the Pacific garbage patch is made up of ghost fishing nets.
Really?
Yeah, and
that's shocking.
Yeah, this company called Bracenet, they work with partners all over the world. They collect these nets and then they make things from them. So one of the unique things they make are bracelets, as you see there. So we work with them to make watch dials. So
I was going to ask you, so that watch dial is actually recycled nets?
Correct.
Pretty much?
Correct.
Wow.
So it's made up of recycled fishing nets. So
and what's the process with that? They basically will like melt down those nets and
melt down and then make them into a dial. Yeah. So the remnants of the process. So yeah, it's something unique. And
well, I thought it was a gemstone.
Yeah.
I looked at it because, I mean, I have a gemstone on my hand, and I looked at it, I'm like, is that malachite or jade, or what is that? You're telling me it's recycled plastic?
It's recycled fishing, plastic.
Very cool.
Yeah, we have the voice to basically tell that story. The people buying luxury watches have the means to kind of make a difference and make a change, and that's how we see it. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Vijay, I can't thank you enough for taking the time with us today. And for people who want to find out more, I mean, where are they going to know more about?
So our website is www.oris.ch is our website. So you can find out a lot there. And obviously, we distribute watches here in the Canadian market through our local retailers here in Toronto, Montreal, all the major cities in Canada. So,
well, good luck at the show.
Thank
Looks
you.
like you're doing amazing things.
Yes, very much.
Appreciate the time.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, there you go. That was a small glimpse into our weekend at the Toronto Timepiece Show. Thanks to all the passionate brands that showcased alongside us. Those guys are really pushing the boundaries of watchmaking by crafting these unique stories and experiences. It was such a great weekend. Stay tuned because we'll be releasing exclusive in-depth interviews with each brand in the coming weeks, giving you a closer look at their unique journeys and groundbreaking designs. I have to give a huge thanks to Jason Hutton, the show organizer, for making this event possible, and of course to all the brands for sharing their time and vision with us. More to come, so keep watching.